Okay, I will be blatantly honest here. This is the best Pokemon Journeys episode of all time!
Pokemon Ranger, I choose you!
What's up, mighty boys and girls? It's your Ranger. Oh damn it, I screwed up my intro, but you know what? In all honesty, I can't really help it. This episode was so good! Originally I wanted to make a short review that is about 2 or 3 minutes long, but after watching this episode, I have to go full out now. So probably around like 10 minutes or so. So much editing, my god. But the hype will carry me, and I also hope that the hype will carry you as well. So if you want to know more, if you want to know my opinion, then grab some popcorn, grab some cookies, and let's do this! We start off with a nearly 1.5 minute summary of not only how Ash's entire World Championship career went so far, while also revealing that he has risen up the ranks once again, but we also see a quick summary of Galarian Farfetch'D's development, which he had to go through since his first ever dedicated episode. As soon as the opening ends, we dive right into some action in form of an intense training session between Ash's Farfetch'd and Ghost Scizor. Happy to see my second favorite Pokemon of all time being established as a main Pokemon, but could have been much sooner though. Naturally, both Pokemon are exhausted from all that hard work, so therefore our heroes are on their way to the Pokemon Center after Go caught another brand new Pokemon. Yay! But this time in a pretty unique way, if I might add. But anyway, we finally enter the main highlight of today's episode, which is Ash vs Rinto Round 2, aka the guy who appeared at the end of Farfetch'D's first major win, defeated a super exhausted Pokemon of Ash, and told him how inadequate Ash's Pokemon is. Let's see how inadequate Ash and Farfetch'd will be this time. Because not only is it revealed that Rinto also took part in the Castle of Chivalry of Elite Four Wikstrom, but also, unlike last time, Rinto was just in the normal class back then. But since then, he was able to enter the rank of Superclass. So both trainers are now equally fighting for the same thing. So therefore, let us not waste any more time and let's dive right into the rematch. And we start off with a little bit of cockiness by Rinto, who allows Ash to strike first, and someone with Ash's nature won't be able to deny such an invitation, so he tries to gain the upper hand very early on with Fury Cutter, which Gallade easily avoids. Now it's Rinto's turn, and even though Ash's stern Pokemon was able to dodge a Night Slash attack with his new move Detect, a quick transition to a Psycho Cutter makes that Detect useless. Although Farfetch'd was able to withstand that Psycho Cutter without any scratch, it severely damaged not only his precious League, but also, more importantly, his confidence. Which is something that Rinto even points out, that as soon as the League is deflected, that it throws off the entirety of Ash's and Farfetch'D's balance. But the next scene is truly something that made me start to like Rinto even more. Go angrily ask Rinto to help Ash with some advice, and his answer went basically like this: "Screw you, that's not my job, I'm not a gym leader, your friend should find a solution for himself." Jesus Christ! That downright disrespect of camaraderie is followed up by an even more disrespectful display of dominance, with Gallade not only pummeling Ash's Galar Pokemon with close combat, but also nullifying another Detect move with Feint, cutting down the confidence of Farfetch'd even more. Because one rule of nature always applies, no matter if you're a human or a Pokemon. If you cut down a man's size, you cut down everything a man stands for. And you could easily see how mentally crushed Ash's Pokemon was. So Farfetch'd is majorly damaged physically and especially mentally, and on the edge of an absolute humiliation. And a normal trainer, like for example Go, would probably break down under all that pressure. But the boy, no. The man behind the bird is not Go, because it's not Go's time, because this is the one confident and charisma oozing mofo that we followed for more than 2 decades now, because this is still the Ash Ketchum Show. So in typical Ash Ketchum mania, he uses his past experience with Wikstrom and combines that with the now trademark unpredictable battle style and creativity of his, with a little smidge of his own cockiness with that smile, and he quickly uses his weakness, aka that cut down symbol of confidence, to his advantage and uses that as a sword and shield. Haha! Sure, it doesn't really seem to work out at first, since Farfetch'd uses this newly improvised weapon for the first time ever, and with inexperience, of course, follows another failure, almost crushing down the remaining bits of willpower that he has. But then something interesting happens. Ash in some way agrees with Rinto. He agrees that both him and Farfetch'd are indeed inadequate, that they are indeed lacking, but he also states that because they are inadequate, because they are lacking, they have to get stronger to overcome that problem, and he knows that his Pokemon has it within him to do so. So Farfetch'd, my friend, don't you dare to be sour! Grab that sword and shield of yours and feel the power! The power of positivity is surging through their veins, and one measly Fury Cutter now feels like several Giga Impacts at once, not only landing massive blows on Gallade, but also leaves Rinto's Pokemon scared shitless. Yes! And that surge of power and regained bravery builds up within him until the power of Chivalry explodes and transforms him into Farfetch'd, or how he is called in Japanese, Negiganaito. Okay, I will stick with Farfetch'd, and soon after that evolution, it's pretty much game for Ash and Farfetch'd, even with Rinto's last ace in form of his Justified ability, which powers up Gallade even more. Ash wins, ranks up even more, Rinto now respects Ash instead of looking down on him, and that's the episode. So, you can kinda tell from my recap alone that this episode, in my personal opinion, was awesome. But what exactly made it this awesome? Well, to find out, let's dive right into my ratings. What can I say about the story? I stated it in my intro, and I will stand by it. So far, this episode right here is the greatest Pokemon Journeys episode ever. Nearly everything about this episode was executed to perfection. First of all, we have to talk about the battle itself. How at first Rinto and Gallade seemingly outsmarted Ash and Farfetch'd on numerous occasions, while also showcasing a sort of arrogance and smugness to them. Like for example, letting Ash have the first attack, and how Rinto responded to Ghost's request of helping Ash to find a solution by basically indirectly saying, "Fuck you! I'm not a gym leader, so therefore it's not my job." And this arrogance and him looking down on Ash, that had like some kind of Paul vibes to me, and I loved every second of it, because in the past we had so many friendly rivals, you know, nice but kind of boring, and I really missed these kind of rivals, the Paul kind of rivals, just like Rinto. So, you know, Rinto, thank you so much. Now that we have looked at the battle in itself, we have to talk about the storytelling within the battle. The way they showcased Farfetch'd's confidence in form of his leak, which he is very proud of, and which in the past Ash even risked his own life for to rescue that leak back then in the Wickstrom episode. That just shows how important this leak is to Ash's Pokemon, because it's not only his main weapon, but also his symbol of confidence. And then to see this symbol of confidence getting cut down piece by piece in front of their eyes, that led to a near breakdown of Galarian Farfetch'd. And just from the facial expressions alone, you could tell how devastated he was. Storytelling not only with action, but also with facial expressions. Wonderful. And when he nearly gave up, we could see the overall experience of Ash Ketchum and how he handled such a situation. Because unlike any normal trainer who would also break down, Ash, throughout the entirety of the battle, never lost any hope or confidence in neither himself nor his Pokemon. And no matter how broken his Pokemon's confidence was, Ash always found a way to rebuild that confidence up. No matter if it's with his creativity, his unpredictable battle style, his attitude to never give up until the very end, or just through his simple mannerisms like his smile, or the way he looks at his Pokemon while giving him a pep talk. I know that it really wasn't the main intent of this episode, but after all the controversy surrounding Go and the fear of people that he might replace Ash one day, this week's episode was sorta like an answer that as of right now, Go by no means will be able to replace Ash. Because with all the mannerisms, creativity, and this charisma that sucked us into the anime till this day, Go will have a long way to go to even come close to Ash Ketchum. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that he will never replace Ash, because you know, maybe one day he will, maybe one day it will happen, but as of right now, and the way the anime displayed Ash in this episode, No chance in hell. So it's obvious that the goods really outweigh the bads here, but let us talk about the nitpicks I have in regards of this episode. First of all, as much as I liked Rinto's first real characterization, I really disliked everything afterwards. That as soon as he got defeated, he turned from a likable douchebag to just a generic friendly rival, with him respecting Ash now, and that he realizes his own flaws, and that now he will work on them to catch up with Ash. Oh god, no. I really adored this arrogant and smug attitude of his, and honestly, I wished that he would have just stayed like that for just a little bit longer. But now he joins the ranks of Sawyer, Alan, Gladion, and Hao, rivals of Ash who compete with him, but also respect him and are really friendly with him. Okay, I guess. The next and last nitpick I have with this episode is still one of the major problems in regards of Ash in Pokemon Journeys. The World Championship ranking has barely any meaning. The last rank Ash had was rank 381, which was the first Rinto episode. Now, after Rinto reappeared, Ash's rank suddenly went up from 381 to 273. He just ranked up over 100 ranks within 8 episodes. Let me remind you, these are 8 episodes that had nothing to do with the World Championships. We had the Diglett episode, the Bia Suicune episode, the Sobble episode, the Ponyta episode, the training episode with Wickstrom, filler number 1, filler number 2, and last but not least, the Grookey episode. None of them are connected with the World Championship, but Ash still somehow ranked up very high, and they justify that by a 1-minute summary, by doing it off screen once again. Which is not the first time. The first time they did that was during the Ash vs. B rematch, where Ash just spontaneously mentioned that he is in the super class again, even though thanks to B, he was demoted back to normal class. Then in the first Rinto episode, they gave us a summary of how Ash ranked up off screen. And now, they gave us another summary of Ash ranking up. Something as important as Ash's journey towards Leon, his way to his current superclass of rank 184, which by the way is now higher than B's last known ranking, and most of the battles to climb up the ranks to reach Leon has been done off screen and summarized by a 1-minute summary. God damn it, Pokemon Journeys. As many great and many romantic ideas you have, in actuality, a lot of times, the execution of those ideas feel lazy and without any effort whatsoever. And Ash's journey towards Leon really proves that. Oh, goddamn. So, what is the score of the story? As much as both the downright laziness of the World Championship concept and Rinto's sudden character change really bothered me a lot, the main event of this episode, which is Ash vs. Rinto, in and of itself was executed in such an excellent way. I will still give it a 10 out of 10, but with the grain of salt, with me ignoring all the things at the beginning and at the end of the episode. What can I say about the focus? Aim to be the League Master, charged with Chivalry. And in a way, it kinda gives away what will happen in this episode, which is clearly the evolution of Farfetch'd. But it also keeps it somewhat hidden, because you don't really know whether or not it will really evolve. And by the time you actually see the episode, you not only realize that Farfetch'd will evolve, but you will also see what it actually took to get the evolution. With, of course, once again, the theme of chivalry being in mind, with both Ash using his past experience with Wickstrom and the anime fully establishing chivalry not only into Farfetch'd's battle style, but also in his character. So, all in all, I have to give this a 10 out of 10. Last but not least, animation. I will make it straight up, it's a 10 out of 10. But sadly, I could only find 2 animation highlights. First of all, the Psycho Cutter counter by Ayaka Koide, and then we have Takeshi Mainami, who animated the end clash between Farfetch'd and Gallade. Both animators not necessarily OG animators like Masaki Iwane, but both established themselves during Gen 7, aka the Sun and Moon anime, so not necessarily new to the Pokemon anime either. But sadly, those are the only sources I could find. Unfortunately, I couldn't find the person who did the cutting leaks moment during the battle, or who exactly animated the facial expressions of Farfetch'd, which were my personal highlights. But still, it's a 10 out of 10 for me. So, in short, this is indeed a 10 out of 10. And I really have to say it once again. This is by far the best Pokemon Journeys episode of all time, and I couldn't recommend this enough. Anyway guys, I really hope you enjoyed this very long review. God damn it. What is your opinion on Ash, on Farfetch'd, and just on Ash vs. Rinto in general? Tell me, and just like always, I see you guys in the comments down below. Bye guys!